Today we're going to be talking about why do men feel like they can save women who have been damaged. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back to the Anthony Spade channel. Before I get started, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and hit that notification button if you haven't already. All right, today we're going to be talking about why do men feel like they can save women. Now, before I get started, what I want you to do is I want you to think about all the women that you walk past on a day-to-day basis. How many of these women are happy? How many of these women look like they're happy to be alive? They're happy to be walking. They're happy to be doing things. Majority of the women that you see on a day-to-day basis are gonna have false happiness. When they talk to someone, they like to always pretend to be happy because women in general try to emulate a persona. They're the best at trying to live out that persona. For instance, I've mentioned before, when people go take a picture, regardless of how they're feeling, they're supposed to smile and portray an image that they're happy to take that picture at that moment. That's called creating a persona. Everyone that watches the photo is going to assume that all the people that took the picture in the photo were happy at that moment and whatever they was doing was happy. Okay, this is what a woman does. When she puts off a persona, she loves to portray the role of someone that's happy, but you can always see through the eyes of the soul that she's not. Women are comfortable with being uncomfortable. They're comfortable with drama. They're comfortable with being sad. You don't learn that until you get older, that she never grows out of this. It just continues to become part of her personality, which drives a man crazy. But let's get started with why you felt you can save her. Okay, 9 out of 10 cases, you feel like you could save her because you come from a single mother home, or you come from a home where both of your parents or the parent you live with was unemotionally stable, which made you be the mature kid. Most men that feel like they can take care of a woman come from a single parent home. Because in a single parent home, you have to learn to be more independent faster. You have to learn to wake up, take yourself to school, take yourself to the bus stop, dress yourself. You must learn to do these things because there's only one parent in the house and the mother is expecting you to grow up faster. But what starts brainwashing you to save women is when you start seeing your parents emotionally unavailable and then you're the one making them feel better. See, the child that helps the mom out and is constantly doing adjustments to the mom is the child that's gonna feel like they can save somebody because you spent days watching mommy cry. You spent days trying to understand why mommy is depressed, why mommy is stressed out. Mommy don't do nothing but lash out when she's under pressure. But you never know why mommy's lashing out. You never know the full story. So as a little kid, to you develop the mindset of understanding, which normally comes through time. You don't start learning about bills and what mommy's going to you're around 12, 13 years old. But as a young child, you spent plenty of nights where you were supposed to be asleep and you may have walked up and went to the kitchen and saw mommy in there with a sad look on her face. Saw mommy stressing, not knowing the stories. All you're used to doing is just seeing your parents be in miserable situations and looking sad, and you were the child always trying to fix it. Well, this carries on into your adulthood. You start thinking that that's your duty, is to save people that are in danger. And it carries on into your love relationships, which is why you are attracted to a woman who's distraught. And the reason why you get caught up every single time dating the wrong woman over and over again is because 90% of women are never happy. So when you're walking around You're seeing more women that you are attracted to because more women are looking sad. More women are looking angry. More women are looking depressed. The same way your mom used to feel at times when you tried to make her feel better, but you didn't know the story why she felt like that. See, when these girls get around you and they start telling they sob stories about the last guy they've been with, you feel sorry for them. You know why? Because you're accustomed to the feeling. You're accustomed to her moods. You know how to handle her mood. You don't care what caused her to be in the mood. You know how to handle the mood because your parents never told you the story as to why they're feeling the way they feel. So you don't become attached to certain stories. You become attached to an emotional feeling that you see. So every time this girl starts telling you her problems, you are always finding ways to fix them. No matter how many bad guys she tells you she's been with, you feel like you're better than them. But what you don't do is you don't calculate the fact that every single guy she treated her the same way, and she kept going back to this type of guy. You don't pay attention to that little detail. And the reason why you don't pay attention to that little detail is because you are addicted and attached to the emotion, not the story. See, the closer you get to a woman like this, the more blind you're going to be. Because all you're trying to do is adjust yourself to make her happy. Adjust yourself to make her happy. Adjust your moods to make her happy. So the more you keep doing adjustments, the more she's gonna have temper tantrums. And when she starts having those temper tantrums, you're gonna always think about the bad stuff that somebody else did to her, and you're gonna blame it on them while she's having a temper tantrum with you. So what happens next? Next, you start spending all your money on her because you feel sorry for the sob stories that she told you from the last dude. So you start spending your money on her to make her feel better because you feel like if I take her and spend money to do things that she's never done before, that she's gonna be happy. So you get to spending your money. And it never works. The more you spend, the more attention you give to her, the worse everything happens. Then it gets to the point where you done spent so much money, you done did all these lavish things for her, and she still ain't appreciated. Matter of fact, if you try to stop doing these things or you tell her, oh, I did all this for you, she'll make you feel like you did it because you wanted to do it. Which intentionally, she feels that way because you came into her sipping so hard. You came into her trying to rescue her. You came to her trying to save her, that you kept doing adjustments at the beginning of the relationship, that she's only used to you adjusting yourself to try to make her happy. So whenever you do something that you didn't want to do, and then you try to take it out on her that you did it, she's gonna say, you wanted to do it anyway. Why? Because you have a history of adjusting yourself to fix her. Because you always had to adjust yourself to your mom to fix her. You always had to watch who you hung out with, be home at a certain time. Everything that you did revolved around your mom or the parent that you was with that was emotionally unavailable to you and emotionally endangered, to where you had to be a more mature person to where you could save them. Most of these men out here, especially black guys, that simp the hardest come from single mother homes. They could easily go be with a woman who is happy. You could easily go be with a woman who has it all together. You could go build a woman that you was taught to be with, but there's a problem with that woman that you were taught to be with. You don't recognize her. A lot of these girls from the ghetto, from the hood, that look pretty, that look gorgeous, they don't recognize a good black guy because they're used to thugs. So they're more comfortable in a thuggish setting. It's the same thing with you. You're not comfortable being with a good girl who has her head on her shoulders and smile and probably don't walk around looking angry all the time because you're not used to being around that type of woman. So when you're around that type of woman, your body does not release dopamine to make you feel good. Your body releases dopamine when you're talking to a woman with issues. But one thing about that woman with issues, she's going to start making you feel like you're the aggressor. You're the abuser. When she starts making you feel like you're the aggressor, you're the abuser, guess what? She's done with you. And she's going to start making you feel this way when you stop adjusting yourself to make her happy. You guys can't get out here and try to save these women. You have to treat a woman exactly how she feels. If she looks miserable and depressed, you need to talk to her like she's miserable and depressed, because that's all she knows. You cannot you can't turn a bad girl good, but when a good girl is going bad, she's going forever. And I think a lot of you guys out there know that, but you choose to ignore this. Because when you try to do the right thing and think the right way, your body doesn't release dopamine or make you happy to do it. So you get put back in the positions that was hurting you before, that you put up with for so long. That's what gives you the dopamine. The addiction to trying to help somebody who's in danger. This is Anthony Spade. Hasta la vista.